Yeah, I would say for me, the big thing is you need to focus on like understanding the incentive of your stakeholders. So for example, let's say you want to communicate risk to a product manager. You need to understand their landscape, right? They care about like the product cycle, the sprints, the backlog. And then if I speak to the CFO, maybe they care about the P&L and they care about, how much this is going to cost. And maybe that's where we can add maybe a bit more numbers, a bit more quantification. And I think for me, I need to first think about like it's empathy, right? I need to think about it through their lenses. And then from that, I'm like, how do they already communicate to me when they speak to me? And I try to mirror the communication style. So then it's more likely it sticks. Yeah, I think a good way to do that for me is when I speak with a new stakeholder the first time, I want to set the expectations and understanding, okay, how far the technical understanding goes. And it's almost like you can either you bundle your communication between different stakeholder groups. So the technical, like very kind of control owners that are deep in the weeds, like these people, they actually need a lot more detail, they need more insights. But then if I speak to kind of their kind of 2 levels up, maybe like director, VP, then for me, I focus more on the outcomes, the objectives, and then the key trade-offs we have to make. Because at the end of the day, these people, they care about the trade-offs, they care about, okay, do I spend more time like improving single sign-on, or do I spend more time maybe hiring someone new to work on, I don't know, encryption? And then you can help them make those big decisions that need like, new budget, new hiring, new tools. So for me, I always think about it that way. I'm like just trying to bucket people and make sure it fits what they care about. I think for me, like often we already have some collaboration with them. So for example, an engineer, maybe when we go on the compliance side, like we need their help for some evidence that we need for the auditor. And I'm like, I need first to kind of get that empathy and building that emotional connection with them, understand the key pain point where I'm involved. I'm thinking, okay, every year when it's time for an audit, they hate me for 3 weeks. I come to them, ask them for XYZ, this extra, this Excel spreadsheet. And it's time that it disrupts them from their day-to-day workflow. And it's like, it's inorganic for them. So for me, I'm trying to see where we already work with them. Is there a pain? And if I can do one quick win right now to solve that pain and commit to something easy, and on the spot, I can already feel like actually trying to make my job easier. And then whatever we're trying to build after, they see there's this goodwill coming. And I really think that when you have that goodwill, then we can build a better bridge. And I don't think it only comes to me when he has something that he needs out of me, and that's what we need to get away from, because they'll always be on the defensive if they think you're trying to ask something. The one habit we should think about is like what I just said, I think is really how can we make sure the processes we put on people, like they don't create toil, they don't create additional like headaches and I think for me the good habit is when you create a new process for someone, go through it once. If you hate it, they won't love it. There's no way, right? So I'm like, even you, it's your work, you don't like it. So I'm like, go through a process once, and then when you work with them and you kind of build that bridge, you have at least one iteration when you went through it and you see the pain, and then you can have more empathy when you chat with them. Because I think often we don't understand why they don't like us, You're like, we did everything right. We asked you this, we actually even send you an email, I CC'd whoever, like this is not the issue. The issue is like when I need to work with you, I need to do 15 things I never do the rest of the year. And like I think that's for me really the first step is like just make sure you put yourself in their shoes once.